Hey there, folks. I'm Isaac, and I defeated Maroon8's Dagon.
And I'm Claire, and I am sneaky.
And this is
Make That Game, where we pitch the latest,
the greatest
new video game ideas
that aren't ever going to get made. No, we don't make them.
Yeah, but sometimes people do, apparently.
Apparently?
You told me. You said, hey,
Oh,
here's a game that was made.
Yeah. Okay. It's conjecture whether it was.
Yeah.
But it is an idea that was pitched on this very podcast. People can come up with the same idea.
Right.
Across great distances.
There's even
without
a specific, isn't there a specific word for that? Spontaneous something? No?
So, I want to say that Ghost in the Shell manga/anime called it Standalone Complex, but I think that is specifically referring to, like, basically terrorism happening on the same idea. Anyways.
All right.
So I don't know if that's the same thing, but I'm Convergent Evolution or no.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
All
right, well, it's something we don't know. But what do we know how to do on this show?
We can pitch games. Should we mention the game that is?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I forget which episode it specifically was, but there was a game that I pitched at one point that was about you play as like the AI in control of like a mobile factory, and you build the automation routines and build the robot army to then conquer more resources and stuff. So this game recently comes out, looks very much like that same idea, or at least what I was envisioning with that, called War Factory. And it's apparently coming out at the end of Steam. And I haven't done that much looking into it, so, I don't know if I endorse the game or not. But I'm putting it out there. It's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
It's there.
Check it out,
it's
maybe.
Something that Isaac might have designed in his own mind.
Yeah.
But hey, this is what we're all about, is making that game.
Yeah, and it's fun to mention, like, hey, real game people made the same designs as us.
If you did work on that game, please email us at makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com. We can have you as a guest on the show.
Yeah.
We can talk about the design, and if you were inspired by Make That Game, that would be even cooler, but I don't think that's the case.
No, yeah.
But
we'd have you on even if you did not take your idea.
But I'm not going to rule out the possibility, because you have to keep hope alive.
Yeah,
but
and
this game is reaching the ears of this podcast reaches the ears of the game makers across the world.
Yeah. So, speaking of game pitches, let's start pitching some games. This week, Claire decided that the theme was bears.
Yeah, this is another off camera.
Yeah, we decided
idea.
Very recently.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, but hey, Claire, what's your game idea related to bears?
Okay, so this is it's kind of like a meme game, I guess. I don't know if that's a thing, a silly game. But also a clicky mystery game, which is what I'm calling like a game like Nancy Drew games, or like Myst.
A clicky a point and click.
Yeah.
Mystery game. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. So the reason it's a meme is because I think you can only play it once, and because of that, and because we live in the age of the internet, it might not be super playable at all. You know what I mean? Like what? Like
people watch a
people
walkthrough,
play it, and then you're like, okay, that's it. But the idea is that. And I don't want there to be anything about bears on any of the marketing.
Oh.
That's the joke.
Okay.
So the idea, you are a cryptid investigator.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I see where this is going.
Your character. And there's like 3 to 5 mysteries in this game that you have to investigate. And it takes itself 100% seriously. Like, all of the marketing would be like, you're going to find cryptids. You're
Bigfoot's here.
Jersey
Devil's here.
Flatwoods Monsters here.
Monster, the Beast of Bray Road.
Hey, all of the heavy hitters, all your favorite cryptids are here. And
Nessie.
Yep, sure. Why not? And through all your investigations, each investigation ends and it was just a bear.
Especially Nessie.
Especially Nessie.
That would be the funniest
Somehow,
one.
that is also just
bears
a bear.
can swim.
I think, yeah.
And when they're wet, I'm sure their fur mats down. You could have a serpentine head.
I'm not saying you could. I didn't say you couldn't. Maybe we throw Nessie in early on in the game so that you think, oh, well, this one, like maybe it's 2 ones that become bears, and then you're Nessie and you're like, well, this one's not going to be a bear.
Yeah, I like that.
And then it's like, no, it is a bear.
No,
and so,
definitely.
Yeah, the answer is it's always a bear. Like you'll go through all of these you'll find clues, you'll interview like locals, and you'll have to like take pictures, but like eventually all the clues will lead you to it is in fact a bear.
I need there to be at least one moment in the game where as you're investigating, like you've got a sidekick, or if your character has their own voice, they're just like, it's just a bear again. Isn't it? Like halfway through the investigation, it's like you're investigating Nessie and you find a bunch of black fur, and your character just is like,
No, I love that. Yeah,
it's just a bear.
They get like progressively shorter. Like the last like quote game of it that you play is like the first person you interview, one of the options for you to say is like, are you sure it's not a bear? Are you for real sure for 100% sure it's not a bear? And then of course it is a bear. But yeah, so that's you're a cryptid detective that progressively realizes that every cryptid is a bear, which is my favorite theory that I have. So that's my game with bears in it, but it's not. I don't know what it maybe like cryptid detective.
Wait a second. Okay, the final thing of the game. Spoiler alert. What if? Maybe this is making it too far.
Spoiler alert.
Maybe this is taking it too far.
A game
but
that doesn't exist. Okay.
Final investigation. Aliens, right?
Uh-huh.
And it ends with an alien spaceship actually landing.
Okay.
You know, you've all the cow disappearances and stuff.
Yeah.
Alien spaceship like lands, opens up, the ramp comes down, shadows. It's bears.
Yeah.
Bears are aliens.
So like that's funny, but I feel like it kind of loses the point.
You're right. Maybe that's like the secret bonus scene that you get for doing really like, because the Silent Hill games are like played straight horror games, really creepy, really psychological, all that going on. But if you like do a certain sequence of events, you can like get it into the dev room where it's revealed, big air quotes here, that everything that's happening in the game is like controlled by a Shiba Inu at a little computer console that has cameras set up all over like the areas that you're in. So it's like that kind of like, it's not canon,
right.
It's like a joke thing that you have to do a very specific like cheat code basically to find.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Well, yeah, that's my game.
Okay, I guess that means I have to talk about my game.
It's time. Bears,
my
let's
game.
Go.
My game is called Bear With Me.
Oh, good. Bears up front and forward.
It's kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Reverse Barrel of Monkeys. A bear bridge building game. Okay, basically.
Well, Barrel of Monkeys is building stuff, right?
You'll have to like hang all the monkeys off the barrel.
Right.
And make like an unbroken chain, I believe.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've even thought of Barrel of Monkeys. I don't know why I brought it up. Anyways, the idea is that you have to construct a series of structures. There's different purposes, like there's different types of levels. There's like you have to build a bridge, you have to build a tower, you have to build various things that need to like bear weight and/or allow you to get to a new area.
I see where this is going.
And so you get a bunch of bears. You have think of the bears as almost like Tetris blocks in that you have like preset poses, basically. Like one bear just has its arms and legs spread. One bear is like doing the walk like an Egyptian move.
So it's that part is kind of inspired by the monkeys because the monkeys are all shaped the same.
The
same.
Yeah, so you have like this subset or this set of like poses that these bears are doing, and each pose has its own physical mechanics. Obviously, like a bear with all 4 legs on the ground is going to be a very structurally stable bear. And a bear standing on 2 legs with its arms spread out you're going to be able to like spread, like put more stuff on top of it because there's more room to put stuff. So like you can build up these stable things. And then you've got like unstable bears that like stretch out really far because they're doing one of those weird yoga poses and like that kind of stuff. And so you have to construct the most structurally stable structure out of these bear pieces that you have to accomplish the goals of the level, which can be, you have to hold an X amount of weight or have a wagon cross a ravine, etc., etc., etc. Whatever bear-themed things there are.
How do you gain these bears? Is there like a method to like
no? So
getting more bears?
The gameplay loop is you have a level. It presents you with a pile of bears.
As one does.
You construct the structure to accomplish the goals of said level.
So it's like each level has a different a different assortment was the word I was looking for of bears. Okay.
Yeah. And part of the fun is sorting through the initial pile of bears, I think. Mm-hmm. Maybe some levels have time limits and stuff. So you have to kind of more build as you go. Some levels might give you a pre-existing structure that you have to work with. Like let's say that like it's let's say it's a castle tower that has like fallen into ruin or something. Mm-hmm. So you have to find bears in the correct shape to like brace against the weird jaggedness of the castle tower, and then recomplete the castle tower so that Rapunzel can be put inside of the castle tower, made of bears now.
Right. Of course, made of bears now.
And this is just an example of one of the many bear-themed levels that we could have in this bear-themed game.
Yeah, I like it. It's cute.
Thank you.
I actually feel like you maybe just invented a board game, actually. I feel like that would work. It would work just the same.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like you have cool little like wooden...
Time to start 3D printing some demo.
I mean, honestly, like that's a pretty cool game. And like you can... It can be like having to balance certain objects that come with the game, but you could have expansions with different objects, and you could like challenges could be like objects around your house to balance with the bears.
Do you think in a board game form it would be collaborative or competitive? Like two people have to make...
I think collaborative.
Okay, so like you and I take turns.
You could also play solo.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would take turns.
Each one of us would place a bear to the structure, and if it falls down, then we lose.
But you're like encouraged to like talk to each other about what your next move is. Like, I could be like, do you think this is a good idea holding up a bear? And you can say, that bear's going to topple the whole thing. We got to pick a different bear.
You got to pick a different bear. And then, different scenarios. This one, you're not allowed to use scorpion pose bears. Oh, well, shucks. That's the most convenient shape.
Different like setup possibilities, which a lot of board games do. So I think this will work as both.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start building the prototypes, and maybe we can get Hasbro. What's the board game?
Hasbro is one. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get who's the one is that the one that makes Monopoly?
I think so. Because there's two, and I'm blanking on the second
Hasbro,
one.
Mattel. What's the one that does Ouija boards? Milton Bradley. Is that one?
That is one. Hold on. Do you want me to look it up?
No. Okay, let's just move on.
All right. It's one of those.
Let's move on. We pitched our games.
Yes, we did.
That's the end of the episode. No, just kidding.
Don't
stop. I hope you didn't turn off.
I didn't.
The podcast.
I never turn off the podcast. We're actually recording all our entire lives, and then I just take this part.
I was talking to the listeners.
No, okay.
There, I was saying I hope the listener didn't hear me say that.
I thought you were saying you hope I didn't turn the recording off.
No, I knew you didn't. I'm watching you.
Well,
I can physically see you. Right. I know to the listener we're just voices, but we do have corporeal forms.
I thought that you were making a joke to the listener, but about me.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, no,
because I do know you can see very well that we are actively recording. Yeah, but okay.
All right.
Well, that makes my joke not anything.
Well, neither of our jokes are anything.
That's why you listen, folks. That's why you're all here.
To make fun of the jokes. Okay, we're gonna talk about something.
Yeah, we are.
Discussion segment.
Yeah, this is where we discuss stuff. Last week we had Matt Muir on talk about his game.
Yeah, we had a guest.
It was really cool. We don't have a guest today, but
so we have to do our own thinking.
We have to do our own thinking. So,
Ridiculous.
Isaac, you said you want to talk a little bit about Oblivion Remastered.
Okay.
Which I know is a game that you played before when it was just regular mastered.
Yeah. And, I played it when it was mastered the first time.
So tell us about that experience.
It recently came out. It everyone says it was shadow dropped.
Like a Taylor Swift midnight release on Spotify kind of situation.
So, okay, I might have my own specific definition of shadow drop here, but like they had like a big show, not a show, but like basically a press release meeting.
Okay.
And they were like, and available for download right now is Oblivion Remastered. And I think once you have like a big press release moment like that, I don't think that's shadow dropping. I think shadow dropping would be if Oblivion Remastered just showed up as
on Steam.
I
think it's a little bit. It's like
no, there was no warning to it, but it also wasn't. It wasn't done stealthily.
I think it's partial visibility dropping.
Okay.
Because yes, there was a press release, so it wasn't like completely sneaky, but also like
presser. Do they call those pressers? No. Okay. No. Okay. Well,
but because like there's no time to pre-save a game, put on the wish list. There's no time to like prepare, so like
okay, all right, I could
usually
see that.
The difference is like usually a game is announced and then you have weeks, if not months, if not sometimes years, to like hype yourself up for it, wish list it. Like if maybe people are budgeting to buy that game, like there's a thing that happens, right? Getting a new console just so you can play that game. We've lived it. Whereas like, yes, they announced it, but because they announced it day of, it's like a completely different feeling for the release. And
fair.
They definitely weren't relying on anything like wish lists or anything like that.
Yeah, well, they knew this was going to sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, but I would agree with you. It's not like total shadow drop because I would agree with your take that would be like we say nothing. It's just in the Steam store one day. Like that would be a true.
Yeah. So those of you who are listening to this and thinking that I'm going to talk about some of the changes from the original to this one, I haven't looked into that at all. I don't remember specifically things that are different, and I don't look. I like saw people listing like, oh, here are the differences. So I don't know what's actually new or not. I'm just going to talk about some like general game designy things that I noticed as I was playing the remastered.
Okay. And when did you play the original? What's the last time you played
2006.
That? Wow.
I was in high school. I was playing it all the time on the Xbox. I think it was just the Xbox. It might have been the 360 at that point, but I was playing it on some kind of Xbox type console. Nice. Played the crap out of it.
As you should.
Because I had played the crap out of Morrowind, the predecessor in the Elder Scrolls series. So I enjoyed the heck out of it back in the day, and I did not enjoy Skyrim so much, and I did enjoy the remaster. I actually think that I enjoyed the remaster more than I've enjoyed many/most modern games.
Oh, okay.
Even though I think it definitely...
And you say modern games, you mean like all modern games or modern games in this universe?
Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay, it took me a second there.
Okay.
In the Elder Scrolls universe.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I was like, all games? No.
Both. Because like, I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed like the stark contrast in playing, say, Baldur's Gate 3 versus Oblivion. Baldur's Gate 3, I have a lot of frustration when I play. There's some jank. There's a lot of weird stuff that I don't like. And this is like a modern darling game. Like everybody loves Baldur's Gate 3, and it's sacrilegious for me to even say that I have any negative opinions about any aspect of it. Compared to Oblivion, where I just load it up and I can play it for like 40 minutes, and like the jank that I encounter is like some weird physics when an enemy dies, or like their pathfinding is quirky.
I mean, there was that time when you killed your ally in the hallway and you couldn't figure out how to not kill your ally in the hallway.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Like, that's a little janky and a little frustrating, but like for the most part, like things just were smooth and enjoyable, and I played through the main story, so I haven't played Knights of the Nine or the Shivering Isles, which are two expansions that I never got with the original. I never got them. I can go back and do them now. I've never played them before. It's all brand new content to me. So kind of excited for that, but since I beat the main quest line, I have kind of not picked up Oblivion again yet. I haven't even picked up the dragon armor that you get, spoiler alert, for defeating Marune Stagon, the final boss.
Wow.
Kind of deal. But
I didn't realize you were so far along in it, though. Honestly.
Yeah, no.
I guess you have been playing a lot, but
it says 96% done,
wow.
94, 96%, and I'm pretty sure the only thing I have left to do is pick up the dragon armor for it to consider me 100% completed, even though there is 2 whole expansions of content to do. But where was I going with that?
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault. No, I went on a tirade. I'm more I didn't have like a predefined set of points going into this. I'm more just rambling and raving.
Well, yeah. So tell me, or did you come up with something to say?
What? No, interview me.
I was gonna say, okay, yeah. I'm interviewing you on your Oblivion game.
Yeah.
What is like the mechanic? So you say like it's less frustrating than Baldur's Gate 3, but what are some mechanics that you especially like that are featured in Oblivion Remastered?
Yeah, one major thing is the dialogue is so much less, I would say, overbearing.
Isn't the dialogue isn't it known for its
so
weird
okay
dialogue though?
The dialogue, like the voice acting, is weird.
Okay.
But like the dialogue itself, it's usually like 2 or 3 like sentences, like lines, and then you're out. They're like, "Oh, Martin Brandius needs you to hunt a mountain lion. The mountain lions are found to the north in the Astral Grove.
Okay.
Let's go together."
Yeah.
And then you and this guy go into the Astral Grove. I just made that up, by the way.
I love it, though. I'm ready.
And like, you go back and you've accomplished the quest and they give you 300 gold and you're done. Whereas in Baldur's Gate 3, it's like the equivalent would be like 900 lines of dialogue and you'd have to make 75 choices in it. Karlach would end up hating you by the end of it. Asterion would be sassy and say some weird, mean line about your character for the choice that you picked. You would gain approval. And like when you fought the mountain lion, it would be a 70-turn battle where they just infinitely kept spawning more and more mountain lions in. And like that's what Baldur's Gate 3 feels like to me.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I do think that that's actually why people like it. Like, I think, and this is how I feel about it, is like part of why I like it is because of all the flavor. Like, I like that. It's like reading a book, but playing a game. I like that.
But so I feel like I get enough flavor. So in what we're learning here is that in real life, I like spicy food, right?
Yeah.
And you don't like so much the spicy food.
No.
You can't handle as much spice as I can handle.
Right.
And then in video games, we're flipped.
Yeah.
I want
to add a little spice.
I want no spice. I want beef pad thai, no spice. And you want tofu pad thai, all the spice.
Yeah. Wow. Wild that we have these such different personalities. In life versus games, I guess.
But yeah, I think that all of that, I think that you, as a general design goal in my head, I think that you can have as much flavor as does not obstruct the gameplay. Right?
Yeah.
Like at the point that in order to get the quest to kill a mountain lion, like I'm purposefully using like a super simple quest. Like a quest to kill a mountain lion does not require a lot of flavor.
Does it require? No, but is it fun? Maybe. Like, I think it's more of an objective thing, like, or subjective is the one that I want.
Yeah, subjective. So it depends on the
player.
Person. Yeah.
I don't think there's one right answer.
No, probably not. But I'm leaning on the Oblivion side.
Yeah.
And now, to be clear, like that, like the equivalent quest line that I'm talking about. So there is a quest line. It's like the first Fighters Guild contract. This woman has a problem. You go to talk to her and she's like, the rat's in the basement. And you assume, the basic, I'm going to kill the rats. No, they're her pets. Her pets are getting killed by something. So then you have to investigate. So like you go downstairs, there's a mountain lion attacking the rats. You're like, okay, what's going on here? You have to spy at night and see what's happening. And you see mountain lions are being attracted by like a steak that's being left outside of a crack in the basement. And so then you have to like admonish the person who's leaving the steak, like figure out their reason why, admonish the person for leaving the steak. And you can either turn them in or keep it a little secret and just pretend the mountain lions are getting in on their own. Mm-hmm. And then you have to go clear out the dangerous pack of mountain lions nearby. And so it's a pretty long, involved quest with like some interesting twists and turns going on. But everything is given to you in a digestible chunk of a couple lines at a time, as opposed to learning the entire legendary backstory of each individual mountain lion that you have to kill.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that there's still plenty of flavor. It just is presented in such a way that doesn't like the way that it should be delivered.
In your opinion? In
my opinion.
Okay.
Okay, well, in Baldur's Gate 3, like what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out what to do next, and it just involves talking to a million characters, and each one of them is giving us reasons not to fight them. Oh, go talk to Gortash. Okay, that's I'm surrounded characters. by my legendary monsters.
That's 2 characters that you're talking about. I think you're hyperboleing this a little bit.
Though I would never do that.
No.
I'm not known for my hyperbole.
But I was more asking, to be clear. I wasn't saying let's compare and contrast, but you can. But I was just like, what specific elements of Oblivion are good? Not necessarily in contrast to Baldur's Gate 3.
The simplicity.
But like expand on that. Like what other things are happening besides just short dialogue?
Yeah, so the dialogue's short and snappy. Gets you to where you need to be going so that you can do the actual fun stuff of smashing monsters.
Does it? That's the one?
I mean that's really just it. It is a game that presents you a world and you can just kind of go do whatever you want, and it doesn't really obstruct it. And on its surface, like Baldur's Gate 3 seems like it is going to be that same kind of game, but it obstructs every step of the way so that you end up doing I think it's kind of a mask on how little there actually is to do.
I disagree.
In each area.
I don't know. I feel like there's more than we're even doing to do. I feel like we leave stuff on the table all the time.
We do, yeah.
Which is fine because it's a lot. It's like an overwhelming amount of stuff to do, in my opinion. I'm good with it being what it is.
Yeah. So one thing that I do want to talk about with Oblivion specifically, and this is neither a positive nor a negative. This is like a game design thing. I'm going to call it, let's see. I think that this is a term that's used. I might be using it incorrectly, or it might be close enough to the correct term, but it's kind of no, this isn't going to be the correct term, but I'm just going to say it anyways. Theme park design.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to define that as is, since theme parks are kind of small spaces, they have to use that space as good as possible, and they want you to spend money, so they put as many attractions as they can, as close together as possible, and they have it really densely packed, right? Oblivion has this going on. You travel 5 feet, you find a dungeon. You travel another 5 feet, you find another dungeon. You travel 5 feet, a bandit attacks you on the road. You travel another 5 feet, here's a cave. Travel another 5 feet, here's a town. It can get exhausting, but there's always something to do. That's a TikTok reference. And they also, in it, like a theme park, they also have different themed areas where what you find in the south is going to be a little bit different. The swampy south. What you find there is going to be a little different than the snowy north.
Just like Breath of the Wild.
Just like Breath of the Wild. So, you might find elven ruins all over the place, and they're all mostly the same, but they might be more bandity. They might have already been looted in the more populated sections and filled with bandits, but in some of the more remote sections they might be filled with undead still, or goblins, because the people haven't gotten there to loot them. I'm trying to think of like what the antithesis to that is, but like Breath of the Wild feels more open.
Yeah.
Right. Breath of the Wild doesn't feel like there's a shrine every 5 steps. There are a lot of shrines, but a lot of them you actually like have to actively seek out. They're not going to be like randomly strewn throughout
right.
like your path. Like, and they will have monster camps. Like I don't think that there's a lot of empty space, but I don't think that there's quite as many like features. If that makes sense.
I think that makes sense to me.
Wandering, like it'll
like
take it takes you a little bit more than 5 minutes to get from point A to point B in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, I think it's most illustrated actually in Tears of the Kingdom in the underground area.
Yeah,
or it is just so empty.
That is extremely empty, and like that only has monster camps. And I'm not like monster camps in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I think do have, like, I would consider them a feature, but they're definitely not like a huge feature. They don't entertain you for more than 30 seconds, whereas like Oblivion has like full dungeons that take like time to delve into, and they give you like lots of rewards, whereas like, okay, here's 5 bokoblins and a moblin, and they're equipped with, you know, some level appropriate weapons. Okay. As opposed to, well, there's 25 bandits spread between the entranceway, which has a little camp, and like the 3 levels of this alien ruin. Like that's what Oblivion's got going on. Like literally every like 30 seconds of travel. Another thing that I want to talk about the general design is, we've talked about this a little bit. It definitely has a sense of false like urgency, false like tension in the timeline. Yes. Like it keeps telling you, oh, you have to do this as soon as possible or else the bad guys are going to win. Like, oh, all this bad stuff is going to happen if we don't solve this crisis immediately. But so that's the narrative. But then there's tension between the actual gameplay, where it seems tailor designed to stop you from doing the main quest. I don't know what to call this, but
I know what you mean though.
Because you find something every 5 minutes and you have a mini map bar or like a compass bar, which highlights all of these things that are nearby to you. It's like intentionally trying to distract you. It's saying, oh, don't you want to investigate Bat Brother Cave? Aren't you interested in what a Bat Brother is? Yeah. And then you go inside, and there might even be a quest associated to the location. You might find archaeologists outside of it who give you like an actual quest line that isn't the main quest.
Yeah.
And like, it's trying to kind of expand its game length as much as possible by just being like, oh, here's all this garbage you can do. And it's not actually garbage. A lot of it is like well designed, like tailor designed, like good stuff. It's not garbage in the sense of like low quality. I call it garbage because it's not the main quest. Yeah. And that's just a personality quirk of mine.
I mean, I think
hyperbolic.
I think there's a lot of games that do what you just said. And like you said, we have talked about it before, but I do think it is a little bit like disingenuous. I get that they want it for the plot. Like I get that the plot is like, in world, you can kind of like retcon that you did this all as urgently as was needed, right? But I never know in a game if it's going to be the kind of game where it does matter or where it doesn't matter. Because like Baldur's Gate, for example, it kind of sometimes does matter. Like if you don't do something fast enough or you pick to do something else instead, then someone could literally like perish in the background, like a background character. But then like in like Life is Strange, that was one of the hardest things for me playing that the first time, because it was my first video game of that style, and they would be like, we have to hurry. But then it's also like, but I have to look at every item in this room. And like, again, you're encouraging me to do so. So I almost feel like the game has to have some like tooltip or something in the beginning that like explicitly states that like deadlines are not real. And like you can hang out in a room as long as you want and nothing bad will happen about that.
Yeah. Although then that takes away all the narrative tension because you know that there is no narrative tension.
But like you have to learn that there's not eventually.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna learn about it,
so
and then you're like,
ideally you just don't
sad.
have narrative tension because in the video game as a genre is not really built for it. It's like there's certain things that work in books, there's certain things that work in movies. I think don't work in vice versa.
I think narrative tension maybe doesn't, but like some
I think you can have video games with narrative tension because it does have mechanical like urgency.
Right.
Sorry, tension. It's the tension between the narrative urgency and the mechanical non-existent urgency.
Yeah.
So what I mean is narrative urgency. I think mostly doesn't work in video games like Oblivion, where they want you to do all this side stuff and they're trying to distract you.
That makes sense.
And then I'm trying to think of like a counter example game
where like the
not
time
necessarily
matters.
About urgency, but that doesn't try to obstruct your ability to accomplish the main quest by distracting you with shinies.
I mean, I
like most level-based games intrinsically, like they don't give you a side, like your goal is always to get to the end of the level, like Sonic or Super Mario or whatever.
A lot of the Zelda games, like yes, they have lots of side quests, but a lot of the side stuff does end up being needed, like,
and they don't really draw your attention to it in the same way.
Fully ignore it so easily.
Like Ocarina of Time, actually, thank you, because this is a good example. Like Ocarina of Time, like the side quest that I think that you could never find, or you could easily find it, but I think that you could easily be the kind of player who doesn't find it. There's this one town, bunch of chickens in it. There is a side quest if you return all the chickens to the pen they're supposed to be in, the chicken owner gives you a quest. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't have like a big shiny flag or like World of Warcraft style exclamation point above her head. And it doesn't give you like a quest journal like, oh, this character said she needs help finding her chickens. Like if you like notice all these chickens and you're like, huh, what's going on with these chickens? And you talk to the chicken owner, you put together, oh, maybe if I bring these chickens back, I get a reward. Yeah. And yes, you do. But you can also just go into that town, do exactly what needs to be done, which you have been explicitly told to do, fight the dungeon in the town, etc., etc. And yeah, so like that is a game that is not trying to distract you from the main quest. It's just giving you side stuff to reward you for like stepping outside the bounds of the main quest.
Yeah, I think so.
It is a game that I would say is confident in its playtime.
Gotcha. Yeah, they don't have to distract you to make it worth your while.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, speaking of movies and tropes and stuff, this is a ramble. Okay, I never said it was anything but.
That's
but
true.
Like,
that's true.
Oblivion feels like a tight 90, but like what's the movie equivalent? It's a tight 90, but it keeps having intermissions for you to go get more popcorn.
Or no, I think the equivalent would be it should have been a tight 90. Like
that's
weird
side
plot where you're like, what even is this?
Yes, it keeps going to the side plot, or it keeps making new side plots.
Yeah, you meet a new character like 80 minutes into it, and you're like, who's that?
Yeah.
Why is that person there? And then it's like 2.5 hours long, but you're like, yeah, we could.
No. This is a 4-hour long.
Okay, and it's like 90. You could have cut that so much. I think that's the equivalent.
Yeah, whereas like Legend of Zelda is a 2-hour movie, but it feels like a tight 90.
Well, I think it is a tight 90, and then it has like an extended edition DVD.
Okay. All right. I like this. I like this analogy. I don't know if we needed to actually. I don't know why I tried to make this analogy, but yeah, I think we got someplace good. Email us if you liked or didn't like that. I think I've rambled and raved.
Okay, yeah, I think that's good.
Ranted.
I think we're ready for.
I said 2 game design points.
Yeah, at least. That's good. That's what the discussions sometimes have to be.
Yeah.
And that's why we're all here. But we're also here for the rapid fire round. And that is where we generate 3 random words. We have to come up with a game idea based on those 3 words in only 5 minutes. And we also have to come up with a gameplay loop and, most importantly, a name. Are you ready with the timer?
Yeah, I'm going to start it.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Consumer, agency, distortion.
Distortion? What? Okay.
I mean, it could be just like as simple as a ad agency that's distorting the truth to sell products. Like that is...
Okay.
That is the most straightforward we could be with these words.
Okay. Consumer, agency, distortion.
But we could also use agency as like...
I think I know where you're going with this. Yeah. You are a recruit at some space defense agency.
Okay.
There is a planet-consuming monster or enemy fleet on its way.
I like it.
And you have to use the new distortion technology ship to defeat it.
So is the gameplay
and there's all kinds of distortion abilities.
Similar to like Space Invaders, or
I would say closer to like Galaga, but same concept. Okay. I think that Space Invaders is like just an earlier concept, like less mechanically refined or less mechanically able. But yeah, so like it is effectively a scrolling shooter. Okay, you play through various levels, you fight various enemy types, and you get different weapons and weapon upgrades, possibly ship types, etc. as you progress through the game, culminating in a final epic battle against an extremely large planet-consuming behemoth.
What kind of distortion like things would it be? Like what are some of the powers you could use?
So
with your
when I generally think of distortion, I do think of like black holes, right? So like I'm thinking one-year weapons is like literally like a mini black hole shooter. That could be like the bomb equivalent. A lot of these kind of games have a bomb type weapon, which is effectively it clears the screen of weak enemies or does massive damage to bosses, and you generally have like 3 of them per level kind of thing. So I'm thinking that's like a basic level distortion weapon, but you can also have things like distortion shields where that's basically a fancy sci-fi way of saying, you know, I'm going to not take some damage from like either certain weapon types or for a limited time while like the distortion generator's active. Distortion is just a really easy sci-fi word because I feel like you can make it mean so many different things.
Yeah.
I do feel like a lot of sci-fi genre stuff has distortion shields, distortion fields, distortion weapons. Maybe like a disguise, like a distortion field. So like I already said distortion shield, but now we've got like a distortion field that you can use as like an infiltration level. It disguises you, it distorts you visually, so it looks like you look like one of the enemies, and you're able to go through this level. And as long as you don't raise suspicion, like you don't have to fight anything, but either once you raise suspicion or when you get to like the end of the level, you have to like then reveal yourself.
Yeah. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. That's very cool. Okay. Well, we have the loop, and now we just need a name.
Space Savior XXS.
Space to Station.
Space to Station?
Like
Space Disaster.
Distortion Portion.
Distortion Portion? I like that name, but I think that we need like a simple actiony name that just speaks of like generic. I don't think we need to include distortion in the name.
Hey, I was trying something.
But what a lot of sci-fi does is it just shortens distortion to D, so we could be like D dash, like D
dash
force.
Space
D space.
What did you say? Didn't you say space
disaster?
Yeah. D space disaster.
Space disaster.
Yeah.
So like D hyphen disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 45 seconds left. Yeah. Space disaster.
I like that.
Pretty good.
Ready for the next 2 words?
No. Now I am. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Broken Velvet Sea. So.
Sea?
Sea.
SEA?
Like the ocean.
Like water?
Yeah.
Okay. Velvet Sea makes me think, so like you can refer to like plains of grass as like a grassy sea, right? Like that's sometimes used poetically. Velvet Sea makes me think of like a specific like prairie, like that has flowers of a velvety color or texture. Am I going anywhere with this?
I don't know.
What was the first word?
Broken.
Broken.
We can work that into whatever. I think you're right that velvet sea have to be they're tough. But velvet is hard. It's a hard one because it's really specifically like the texture of a fabric.
Oh, velvet's not a color?
No, velvet can be any color.
Why did I think velvet was a color?
I don't know.
I thought velvet was like a maroonish. Is it just that velvet like curtains are usually maroon?
Yeah, I mean they're usually dark colors, like jewel tone dark colors. But
velvet sea, like looking at pictures of velvet and like the texture of it, like that definitely like.
Yeah, I think that could work as like an imagery metaphor. I don't know. I'm struggling.
Is our game Oregon Trail? You have to cross like a semi-alien because I'm not sure if there's any natural prairies that have a velvet.
Okay. How about
texture.
No, let's do alien. And the texture is basically velvet, but like big velvet. So like, because velvet's kind of like this almost, it's like plush, but also kind of like gritty.
Yeah.
So like you have to like break through.
Oh, I was thinking like broken equipment, like broken wagon wheel,
both.
broken. Okay. All right.
The velvet itself, the environment is causing issues.
Okay.
On an alien. So it's like, it's Oregon Trail, but on an alien planet.
Okay. And so instead of being like, okay, when you're standing on top of a hill, it looks like oceans of velvet in front, like seas of velvet before you.
Is.
It's like legitimately velvet.
Mm-hmm.
But like what kind of, I'm a car driving on velvet. Like, does that cause me any issues that I need to break through?
But it's a sea of velvet. So it's like, and you're smaller. So like the ply of velvet is weird. So like driving through it, it's like movement's hard. But I also think what would be interesting is like what's under it. Like sometimes maybe it's very stable, but sometimes maybe it's not.
Oh, okay. All right. So, it's like the entire surface of the planet is covered in what is effectively velvet, but that's covering other things. And it could be covering like
and you can
gaps.
Use like maybe you can use it to like jump over things. Like if there's like a tension part that's like useful, and then there's like, but you can
like
fall
a trampoline.
In. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think velvet's that elastic, but we're gonna go with that. I want to just go with it.
If velvet is a texture, it's a material.
It's a material.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here. Let me just read I can just read the definition that I have.
I think we're pretty deep in it to be like,
sure.
Because if the definition ruins it,
let's just let's.
So gameplay loop. We've kind of described like the setting.
Yeah, I mean, I like
what's
it.
The gameplay?
I think let's just lean into Oregon Trail. So you have to like gather supplies at outposts.
Okay.
You come up to basically like random events, and you have to decide how to like forge through them, and if you decide wrong, then you die.
Okay. And it's interesting because it's an alien environment. You have a lot more leeway in like creating unexpected events. I feel like Oregon Trail, like it kind of runs into the problem of if you're experienced enough in Earth life, you kind of know to some extent like how fording a river might go.
I mean, yes and no, but like we don't live with cholera, So like when you're like, I don't know.
Don't, but I do. Every day of my life.
If you did, I probably would too. Isn't that one super contagious?
Yeah, I think so.
So anyway, let's name the game. I mean, I think it's just like Planet of the Velvet Sea.
Crossing the Velvet Sea. Boom, 40 seconds left. Consistent.
All right, this is our final one for the show.
And we're going to start it in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good. Okay. Leave, like goodbye, like leave. Realism, lemon. I don't know what we're up to, but here we are.
Okay. So singular leaves is leaf, not leave, right?
Correct. Yeah,
and
it is
leave is not related to like leaven, like leavening bread. So leave. Okay. I love leaves. 2 definitions are go away from or allowed to remain.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah, like you like leave it here or like leave.
Which that's
Never
kind of
thought
funny.
about that before. That's
But also this could be interesting. I don't know if this helps us at all. In pool, billiards, snooker, croquet, and other games, the position of the balls after a shot. So what are the 3 words again? Lemon and realistic?
Realism.
Wait, is this a hyper-realistic croquet simulator, but the ball is lemon.
Croquets, was leaf in croquet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Maybe, yeah. So the balls are lemons. And that makes the physics really bad.
That does make the physics really bad and awkward.
Yep,
and
which is the point.
Which is why the realism's funny.
Right, and it's a VR game, so you have to hold the actual croquet.
Yes.
Yep. And you're hitting the lemons.
Wow,
so.
this is good.
This is the best kind of make that game.
Leave it to lemon. Nope, that doesn't.
I like it though.
That's it's pretty good. Hold on, let me see if croquet has any famous terms.
Great. It could be called lemon.
Wickets. Wicket good lemon. Wait, Wicket good lemonade. There's a multi-phase part. You play a game of croquet with your lemons.
And then they are all juiced up.
And then you make lemonade to fund your next croquet excursion.
All right, Wicked Good Lemonade I'm good with that. That's the name of the episode, folks. You already knew that, but
with 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
I can't imagine any other name being the name of the episode.
Nope. There we go. We did it. We made the best game of the. Yep. All right.
It might be the best game of the year. We don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, cool. Well, thank you all for listening to our podcast. You can find us at makethatgame.com, newly refreshed and beautiful.
I did my day job and I built a website. I actually did it. It's ridiculous that I did that, but
yeah. And you can subscribe to our newsletter there as well, which we are going to send out soon. Probably tomorrow in podcast time, aka the day after this comes out.
Yep.
We also are going to be streaming on the 29th. That's Sunday, the 29th of June.
What will we stream? We don't know.
We don't know yet, but that's part of the fun. I don't know exactly what time we're streaming either, so you're going to want to follow us on twitch.tv/makethatgame so you can see when we go live, and we'll probably put it in the newsletter as well. We'll know by then. Also, you can find us on social media at MakeThatGamePod. And please email us, makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com. You can send us game ideas you want us to read. You can send us a game, 3 words that you want us to make a game out of. Or
a game you want us to play.
Yeah, you can send us a theme for our pitches, which we should come up with before we sign off the podcast.
Oh, yeah. What's our theme for next?
I did bears, so.
I know, but all mine were bad. So.
But I did the last 2.
Okay, Royal. Great. Okay. Did we already do Princess?
We might have already done Royal. No, we did. We're just going to do Royal. I think that's fine.
Royal. All right. It's different.
And then also there was another thing that I was going to say about, just leave us a rating and review if you can on iTunes or whatever you get your podcasts. And also word of mouth is great. Like if you know people who like games, send them our way. We love it. And that's the show. So if you want to play a video game that you heard today, it doesn't exist yet. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get out there and make that game.